Hello, everyone. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. This is your girl, OG Patrice, in the building. And I want to welcome everybody in. Please come on in, family. Come on in the room. Come on in the chat. I'm so excited today. We have a lot to talk about. I'm excited about my guests. I'm excited to talk about this nonprofit organization that I am so humbly honored to be a part of and to talk to Mr. Kevin Means, who is the executive director. But before I do all of that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say I am so glad to be back. It's so good to see you guys. I've missed everyone. I've missed you guys. I've been on hiatus for a while, had to take a little bit of a mental break, a little bit of a break from these YouTube streets and just kind of fall back from a lot of things. I've been crazy busy with, of course, my stage play that's going on, that's happening next week in California. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But in the meantime and in between time, I missed y'all. Did y'all miss me? I missed y'all. So I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping before I start the show, but I want to welcome you to Straight Up No Chaser Talk with OG Patrice. And this is your girl, OG Patrice, yours truly, original girl, original goddess in the building again, rocking with my family, knowledge and relationships. I would like to ask you guys to please hit that like button on your way in. It costs you nothing. It's free 99. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share. And tell someone about Knowledge and Relationships YouTube channel here in these YouTube streets. I want to thank my family first and foremost. They in the background doing their thing, helping me keep this show afloat and going, running smooth. Salute to the moderators in the chat. And I'm going to continue to do some housekeeping, giving some love to everybody that's coming in the chat room, to all the family, to all the friends, to all the fans all around the globe in these YouTube streets, you guys. I want to start off by welcoming and saying hello again and thank you so much to my knowledge and relationship family. Let me see who we got in the building here. We got Gabrielle Hill. She's in the chat. Thank you. B.A.M Music and Fine Arts is here. You in the building, sis. Thank you. And hello. Thank you so much. Thank you for stopping in and thank you for supporting. I appreciate it. My sister, N.A. Hi, N.A. How are you, sis? I missed you guys. Welcome. Come on in the chat room, y'all. Wally's in the building. Salute, Wally. Salute, sir. How are you? And who else we got in here? I know, Sister Annie, I missed you too. Yes. Sister Risa Neal is in the building. Hey, sis. How are you? I missed you guys so much. I know it's been a minute. I've been on a hiatus, I think a little over a month. So it's been, it's been a minute, but I'm back. I'm back bigger and better than ever. I'm feeling good. I'm motivated. I'm inspired. I'm encouraged. And I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about the new endeavor that I've gotten involved with and talking to my special guest this evening, this Super Bowl evening. And I know you guys are all into the Super Bowl, for those that are fans of football and the Super Bowl and all that. So I'm not going to keep you a long time with this interview. But I definitely wanted to shout out and say salute. You know, I'm here in Arizona where the Super Bowl is actually happening right now. And I'll tell you guys, listen, you know, I'm not into sports like that or the Super Bowl, but it's been crazy. It's been crazy here in Arizona for the last week. Like, we have a lot of celebrities coming in and out, a lot of celebrity sightings, a lot of fans, a lot of people coming from all over the world, you guys, to attend this Super Bowl that is right here in the state of Arizona where I am in Phoenix. So I think it's Philly Eagles, right, against the Kansas City Chiefs, right? I do know that much, right? And I will say, even though I have not watched football in a long time, Have not been a fan. I was never like really a big fan, but sometime I used to watch the Bears play. Me being from Chicago, I used to watch the Bears play sometimes with my brothers and things of that nature. And I don't think I've watched the Super Bowl. And I know I probably shouldn't say this. I feel a little ashamed, but I haven't watched since the Bears won the Super Bowl. What was that in the 80s? Something, I don't know. Early night 80s, early night something. You know, I used to love to watch what was his name? God, he passed away. He played for the Chicago Bears. Y'all, Walter Payton. I used to love to watch Walter Payton play. So I'm sorry, but I admit I'm not a football fan like that. I haven't even watched the NBA since the Bulls used to win championships. I'm just not, you know. I think the last sporting event I watched was when the Cubs won the championship in 2016. I did watch that. But I congratulations to those that the teams that made it. And I don't have a favorite, but I think if I had to pick one just off the top of my head, I'd probably pick Kansas City Chiefs because they Midwest. I'm a Midwest girl, so only for that reason. But I don't know, they're both are great teams. I know Philly's great. I know they are really, really a lot. I know a lot of people that are from Philly that is rooting for Philly to win. But I just say this: somebody is going to win, and may the best team win. That's all I got to say about that. But welcome, y'all. Come on in the building. She stole my thunder. How are you, beautiful? How are you? It's so good to see you. Thank you so much. You said, how dare they? Did you know they're going to be playing football during Rihanna's concert? I know. Yeah, Rihanna is performing for the halftime, so I've heard. And I love Riri. Don't get me wrong. I love her as a singer, as a performer, as an entertainer, and as a businesswoman as well. But I think I heard or somebody said that Cardi B and Offset was here. They've been spotted out. I think they're doing something, with the Super Bowl as well. Bridget Means, welcome, my dear sister. So glad to see you. Welcome. Come on in and enjoy. Hello, beautiful. So yes, guys. So yes, without further ado, I am going to get into my interview with none other than Kevin Means. He is the executive director of the organization that I am so proud to be a member and part of, and it's called B.A.M, Music and Fine Arts. And it's actually here, guys, in Arizona. It is a musicianship united to help reduce youth violence in Arizona. And in 2023, we are having our first annual community dinner concert series. But guys, I'm going to talk a little bit and tell you a little bit about B.A.M, okay? So just to give you a little bit more about the organization, B.A.M is a nonprofit organization, you guys. And I'm going to let Kevin, when I bring him up, come and talk about endeavors in how they got started and things of that nature. But I'm going to read a little bit of the mission statement here. So B.A.M, their mission statement says to provide educational and entertainment, multicultural fine arts and production, which features our program beneficiaries, linkage partners, and B.A.M network of musicians. The purpose statement: as a means to help restore mental and spiritual health, our collaborative efforts offer the therapeutic value of cultural music and fine arts to people who are marginalized, silenced, or at risk for violence, social injustice, prejudice, and isolation. Many of those we serve have experienced traumas related to violence. And B.A.M's nonprofit organization is to help reduce violence through our youth, through music and the fine arts. It is an anti-violence organization, again, educational, cultural awareness, opportunities to proactively participate in positive community activities through service. And some of the things that we offer at B.A.M is music education, history and appreciation, music theory, instrumentation, songwriting, production, recording, videography, stage performance, collaborations with professional musicians, participation in professional band rehearsals, performance preparation, job creation, business organization, business ethics, marketing. After school programs contain of Botvin's life skills, peer-to-peer, mentorship, and college preparatory. So guys, we have board members that are Bridget Means, who is the director, Sam Cockrell, who is a director, Darlene Garner, who is a director, case manager, and program coordinator. Kevin Means, the guy that I am going to be interviewing today, is the executive director and program coordinator. You guys, I am so excited, as I said, to be a part of this organization and giving back to the community and also helping our youth reduce violence in our communities through music and the fine arts, ladies and gentlemen. So without further ado, team, will you please bring up my very special guest, Mr. Kevin Means. Yay! How are you today, sir? Take your thing off of mute.
There we go.
There you go.
You can hear me, right?
I can hear you now, sir. We cooking with gas. How are you?
I'm okay. A little bit under the weather. Been popping Zycams for 2 days. They work.
Yeah. Okay. You feeling better though?
I'm not worse. That's best.
Okay, that's awesome. I see you got your Chicago Bears shirt on. You ready for the Super Bowl?
All Chicago, all we care about is getting a win. We don't care much about the Super Bowl these days.
I know, right? We'd be lucky if we do get a win, right?
Right.
I don't even know, with the Super Bowl and everything going on, I don't even know what the stats are for Chicago. Like I said, I haven't watched sports and football and all that's in so very, very long. But
same here, Patrice. I heard you say that in your intro. I was actually part of I was one of the brothers who boycotted the NFL.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay. When that Kaepernick
knee, and the rest of the brothers didn't take a knee. It's each their own. I respected that greatly. I was having a conversation today at work with some gentlemen in our break room getting ready to watch the Super Bowl and all. And somebody made a comment about all the money that's in the NFL. And my first thought was, what if they spread their conduit to reach the high schools, made a conduit path for those who want to study communications, because there's jobs there, marketing, because there's jobs in the NFL, not the football field necessarily, but everything surrounding the entire business, right?
Right.
That's a lot of money in the NFL, right? They could stretch the conduit a little longer to meet those youth in the high schools. And for every city where they're located, every owner should be doing that. So
I agree totally. Yeah, a lot of money, a lot of money in sports, a lot of money in those professional leagues, the NFL, NBA, Major League, MLB, National Hockey League. It's a lot of money in sports, and I agree with you totally. Let me do a little bit more house cleaning before we jump into it. I see some more guests coming in the chat. Vaughn Eric, welcome, brother. My brother Vouaghn Bryant, welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad you guys can join us. Marion, one of my moderators and my sister. How are you? Thank you so much. It's party line. Welcome. Salute. Everybody come on in the chat. Let's get ready for this great interview with my brother, my newfound brother, Mr. Kevin Means, who also is my homeboy because we from the same hometown. Chicago, Illinois is in the building all the way up in here. But that's sir, right. I want to tell you, I am so glad and so honored that we've met and our paths crossed, and you asked me to be a part of the endeavors of B.A.M and the organization. So I'm going to have you kind of give an introduction to my chat, my audience, as to who you are, a little bit about your background, and how did you get this B.A.M nonprofit organization started?
Wow. I can't self-disclose everything, but let's say I had some experiences in life that led me on the path to give back.
Okay.
Somebody told me pray for somebody because somebody sure prayed for you, right? So that just led me to reach out to help others. And we started B.A.M House from my personal experiences. Once again, is what led me. God led. Okay. And we started in 2006 is when we actually got formally organized. But the vision and footwork started before that. And that was in Chicago. And I
Can
apologize. I
you
got a house. I'm out of town and I got
can you
house.
tell me what B.A.M stands
B.A.M
for?
stands for blessed above measure.
Blessed above measure. I like that. Okay.
Ephesians 3:20 is
Okay.
what the
Ephesians
scripture
3:20.
reference is.
Familiar.
So blessed above measure, and that idea in itself really started to take root when we launched our housing services for adult men who were challenged with addictions, coming out of prison, dealing with mental illness and homelessness, which, all of those are related to one another in one way
Absolutely.
or another. I'm an Army vet, and we worked. We had
Salute and thank you for your service, sir.
my honor. We work with vets under a VA contract. Actually, at the time, we were awarded a contract, which was about 5 years into our housing services under a state license, under Illinois Department of Human Services state license facility. When we were awarded our contract with the VA, we were the first and only Christian program that was licensed and operating with a VA contract at the time in the state of Illinois. We considered it an honor, but we only had 10 beds. So there was a lot of services that weren't being provided. So I know I may be getting ahead of myself here. Let me back up because how we got started in 2006, we found a property that was a college dorm up in Waukegan for Shimer College. And when that property became available, that's when we went ahead and moved forward with our plan to provide housing. And our modality that we operated out of, the structure we used was a tough love program structure. So we saw that was necessary because there's already so many different programs like ours that existed that were revolving doors. And knowing that people coming out of prison, that revolving door, also recidivism in the prison is an issue as well. So working with Congressman Danny Davis and some other people in the network that were actually being active, working with the homeless population and the mission to end recidivism in the prison system, we saw it necessary for us to take a different position from the rest of the organizations that existed. And we chose Waukegan because there were so many organizations there like ours. Similar to, just one moment, I have housekeeper knocking on the door. They're 2 hours late. Just 1 second.
Oh, okay. All right. So, guys, so as you can hear a little bit about what Kevin was saying, that he started the organization. It started in Chicago, Illinois, in the state of Illinois, and it was help, so many underprivileged, people like coming out of the prison system, and we know how that can be with things like finding a job, finding housing, finding being able-bodied to be able to be constructive citizens again in society. So just continue. Go ahead.
Yeah, all of those reasons. So that just kind of gave us an idea of where we wanted our positioning. So the tough love aspect, we operated out of CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy. We chose that modality through evidence-based research and networking and communicating with a number of different counselors, another number of different program coordinators to come up with a mix that will work. And Chicago is not common in the Chicagoland area. Now, while we were in Waukegan, as you know, Patrice, Waukegan is miles away from Chicago.
Yes.
Right? So the idea was to get them out of Chicago, get them out there so they could focus on their process. And the tough love aspect of CBT, it deals with behaviors, but it also looks at the feelings that causes those behaviors. People react sometimes instead of saying, I felt like this when you said that, they
Right.
just react. So it catches them in the middle of that. There's activities going on, so they're not just sitting around the house, they have to take a role, an active role. And we didn't reinvent the wheel. There's an organization called Oxford House. That's one model we follow. There's another organization called Alpha House out of Pittsburgh. That's another model we follow. We took the best of both, brought them together.
Okay.
Oxford House is a peer-led house of men in recovery from alcoholism or substance abuse. They have a president, vice president, secretary, treasurer. They're organized just like B.A.M Music is organized or how B.A.M House is organized. So they are organized as an organization that runs
Okay.
that house. Everybody has a job and responsibility. The purpose of that was so that they have a stimulus to interact. And then their real behavior starts to come out. And now the counselors are able to zoom in on where they really need help and what needs to be addressed. We had many pressure scenes, and these peer pressure scenes were purposed to address negative behaviors on the spot. So everything would stop, TV would get turned off, whatever was going on. For negative behavior displayed, they addressed that and offered help to their peer as to how to deal with that negative behavior. And whatever feelings came out of that, that person would then have to process those feelings and try to use the help that was offered by their peers. Structured program, it was effective. It worked well for our counselors. One of them should chime in. One of our first counselors, who now has her own practice down in Texas, and she actually may chime in and could explain that a little further. I'm not a counselor.
Okay.
So, but doing the getting the research and information, of course, that's part of my responsibility as a director, and that's the modality we operated out of. So, in short, people weren't banging down the doors to get into B.A.M House because we had a reputation of having a very strict structure. All right, but for those who chose to come in, that's why our success rate was about 70%. A lot of people moved on. Men who had an X on their back thought they couldn't get a job, started their own businesses or got the CDLs and what have you. People who thought who had no hope found hope just by completing the program. That's how we started, and then we had the VA contract and we carried that out.
That's awesome. I mean, to just know that where you started in, what was it, '06, up until this point now, and being able to catapult this program and this organization from Illinois now into the state of Arizona, and to be able to, even engulf our youth in it. Now, let me ask you about sort of the youth program that's mainly involved. Now we have through the B.A.M organization, we have the youth program that we're going to be helping reduce violence here in the state of Arizona. Give me a maybe like a age group of
Sure.
where you focus, and what is some of the things that B.A.M will particularly on in helping the youth transition out of anything that they may be coming out of, maybe juvie, maybe halfway house, maybe whatever that look like. Give me like, is there an age start and stop and that whole transition?
What I've learned over the 20 years, almost 20 years now, in the nonprofit world, I do hold a nonprofit admin degree from Trinity International. I don't know how much I learned there, but
with your bad self.
the learning process of hard knocks is what we talk about a lot.
Yes, that part.
What I found is, we'll establish. I know you read the mission statement earlier, and
Mhm.
welcome to the board, Patrice.
Thank you. Thank you. I am honored. Thank you for having me. I am, I'm a community active. I've always believed in, helping our community be better, and definitely helping our children to be better and do better. You always wanted, like, we want our children to always do better than we did. So we grew up in an era of where there was a village that helped raise us, right? We had that conversation talking about that. And I believe that organizations like B.A.M is a part of a village that can kind of bring that substance back into the community. I think is so needed. I think our children are lacking in a lot of them type of endeavors and programs. So grateful to be a part of B.A.M and grateful to be able to give back to the community to help the youth any kind of way. I know as someone myself that I know the arts helped save my life. I know the arts helped save me from a lot of probably nefarious things I could have possibly gotten off into being a kid growing up on the south side of Chicago, you know. And so if it was not for things like music appreciation, modern dance, drama classes, you know, learning when I had a voice and I wanted people to hear me, I know for me, that kept me out of a lot of trouble because after school, instead of me running off to do something nefarious, I was running to the after school programs where I was learning music and learning, you know, how to sing and things like that nature. And looking from where we were then to where we are now, the school system have taken so many of these programs away, taking so much of funding away, taking so much of resources away. You don't have those after school programs as much anymore, especially in poor urban neighborhoods. And we'll have that conversation. Or you know, taking the resources out of certain neighborhoods, taking so many programs away that these kids have so much idle time on their hands a lot of times. And a lot of times their parents are at work. You know, sometimes I know I was a latchkey kid. My mother didn't get off of work until late at night. So by the time I got off for school, if I didn't have something else to do or to get into, they say idle mind is the devil's workshop. You know, right. And unfortunately, that's how a lot of kids can tend to get into trouble. Right. So let's talk about some of the things that B.A.M is going to be offering our youth.
Yeah, well, so you mentioned, I listened to you earlier mention read the mission statement. Mission statement is broad. We know, my experience has taught me that grassroots organization, we create a mission statement. We try and be all encompassing. At some point, it gets narrowed down. Okay. I don't want anyone listening to believe that we think we can do everything. And that's not possible. It's called comprehensive services. But we lay it out right now. And as we're building our board, once again, thank you for taking the board seat. We really appreciate it. You don't know how much gratitude I have for that, because that is the challenge. We open up, we're a nonprofit public charity. It belongs to the community. So it's to encourage community people to participate in what we're doing and take an active role is what I'm really trying to encourage people to. So we lay out the vision in full. I believe God gives everybody vision. So by laying it out in full, it gives people a better picture, because it's hard to see a building if it hasn't built, you know. So we lay it out there enough for people to make, you know, see where they can share their gifts and talents. So it sounds like a lot. I know you went through the list of services. Some of the services that are there, we have done in the past. Others, we rely on linkage agreements with other organizations to be able to carry that out. So that's the big picture of what B.A.M will become. It's going to be a process, and you know, it takes effective board leadership and governance to make that happen. How we stepped into the area with the youth and away from the adult population, we did it successfully, I believe. I think everything runs a course based on your dollars, because at some point, our contract with the VA ended. They didn't know what that contract needed to look like. They pulled everybody's contract. So, you know, the VA is still troubled.
Yeah, and government, you know, plays a major role in that. So we know
we need funding. We actually, had we not gone and taken funding from the VA, we were self-sufficient. Well, our success was based on men completing our program and us fulfilling our mission statement. Thereby, they were able to pay their own program fees. So we were self-sufficient. We had in-house business, B.A.M Foods, and B.A.M Building Services, which generated employment opportunities for guys coming in. That was our revenue stream that helped support the organization. But when we took funds, we expanded our counseling staff, et cetera, so forth. And, you start adding other components, and then we reached for some other partnerships that actually required us to make some other investments, and things fell apart at that point. Then when me and Mrs. Means decided to relocate to Arizona to get a head start on retirement, I was
Right.
done. I went through the pains of losing your child.
Oh, wow.
Basically, you know what I mean? So for
Yeah.
about 3 years, I was really in limbo. I'm an electrical engineer by trade, so I
Okay.
still continued to maintain my career throughout all of this. I worked exclusively with B.A.M and carrying out my duties and being paid on payroll only for about 2 years out of all the time we've operated. But I've always maintained my career for the most part. So, I was able to get over it. But when we relocated, I'm a musician. If I didn't have anything else to do, all I would do was play music.
Play your
But see,
music.
so I'm like, okay, well, why don't we pick up the torch? We started a side project with B.A.M House, and we worked with the Governor Pat Quinn at that time, and we worked with Alderman Ed Smith, Senator Anizette Collins, Danny Davis. We worked with them to start a youth project that was just for that 1 year, for a year, and it would be the after school program. Well,
Okay.
we wanted to nest our project in 3 different churches on the west side. That didn't work out, unfortunately. Kind of broke my heart. We wanted to nest in the churches. There was too much confusion. I hate to say that, but
Mm,
that's true. And we weren't able. We were able to nest in the school in 2 public schools there on the west side, Marshall High School, and I forget the name of the elementary school. It escapes my mind right now. But
okay.
so we were able to nest there and carry out services, and then that project ended with a summer school camping trip. So some youth have never even seen the stars because they never been away from the city where it's dark enough to even be able to do that.
Mm, isn't
So
that something?
just the music is just one aspect of it, but where we're going now, because I believe a network of musicians is required for us to establish a foundation to have the activities that would be necessary to provide mentorship to youth. So through the network of musicians, you got a band can embrace as many youth that could participate in their rehearsal sessions, leading to a performance. Well,
Okay.
that could be as much room as they may have for that, whether it be vocals, or with an instrument. They have room, patience to allow them to participate in their rehearsals. They become good enough to be able to actually perform with them. That's a hands-off approach. The only thing we would deal with as an organization is the case management. So then our counseling staff be able to step in to deal with case management with that individual, and you have Illinois Violence Prevention Authority came up with some evidence-based research that identified protective factors and risk factors. Well, this provides some of those protective factors by being able to do that. And then, like I said, that's what the purpose of the network of musicians is all about. Now, the other side of it, Patrice, you're an actress as well. So,
Yes.
that's the other side where we begin to network with more people who are in the arts other than music,
Right.
whether it be dance or acting. And part of the vision is not necessarily long plays, but short skits that get a message across quickly as it relates to violence and having alternatives to violence, and giving youth other options. That's really what this is about. So I believe that old school. I'm old school.
Me
I have
too.
appreciation for the new music.
Shout out to the old
In
school.
fact, even as a songwriter, I take new music that I write and I mix that old school, try and bring it fast forward. And kind of like what Bruno Mars and those guys have been doing. Taking that.
Yeah. I love Bruno Mars's work. I love how he's taken a lot of that old school feel, from a lot of those producers from back in the day, and he's, putting the new school feel on it. And it
Right.
just absolutely,
And believe,
absolutely,
believe it or not, a lot of youth have an appreciation for it too.
absolutely,
A
yes.
lot of youth have an appreciation for jazz. I mean, some of the history of music, once they understand that and someone takes time to really show them that, if they have any interest in music, and a lot of youth do have interest in music.
Most of them do, in some shape or form. They have an interest in the arts, period. Whether, like you said, it's learning to play an instrument, or if they discovering that they can sing and want to sing, or if they are into dance, some type of dance like jazz or modern dancing or African dancing or whatever kind of, dancing. And now with the acting, which is, thank you so much. I'm honored that you asked me to head on that part of it. I can definitely say that I'm excited about it, and I look forward to working with our youth and working with you guys to create nothing but magic and helping save our youth in any shape, form, or fashion that we can do. We're not miracle workers, but
I like the word magic.
Creating the magic, right?
Magic, yeah, right.
Yes, and if we can, help save one youth at a time, and it grows more and more in our communities. I think that it is a great thing to do, and we all have a responsibility, being a part of B.A.M organization, to do that. Which, for me, I take it serious. I just got out of a program through our inner city school here that I was working with, where I was going and reading to some of the students that were falling behind in their reading skills, and it was predominantly third and fourth graders. And you work with children, and you got, first of all, it takes a special kind of people to even work with our youth and work with children. It takes a lot of patience. It takes some kind-heartedness, some understanding, and again, more patience.
Yeah, you're right. I never said I was that guy, but yeah.
Yeah. But I fell in love with it, and you fall in love with the students that are eager to learn and grow. So I'm just looking forward to all of what the future endeavors that B.A.M has to offer. So now let's talk about our first event that's coming up.
Oh wow! Yeah,
I'm excited about it, talk a little bit about this fundraiser, this event that's coming up next week, which is on the 18th, which is next Saturday. that B.A.M is holding this dinner concert here in Arizona. But before you do that, let me give a couple of more shout outs. I see some other people is coming in the room. Miss M. Mills, how are you? Good evening, beautiful. Thank you so much for stopping in and rocking with your girl, G. Patrice. Risa Neal, hey sis, thank you. I appreciate you guys coming on in. Hit that like button, you guys, and subscribe and share. And I would like to ask my moderators or my IT team in the back to please drop the website to B.A.M Music and Fine Arts. Please drop the website if you guys want to check out the website, if you care to read the mission statement and everything that we're going to be doing here in the state of Arizona for the B.A.M organization. If you care to donate, please do so. And if you are in Arizona and would like to attend the event coming up next Saturday.
I've heard of Kevin Gates.
Please check out Kevin Gates. Oh, that guy right there, Kevin Gates. No, it's Kevin Means. It's Kevin Means. Oh, yeah. My IT, you got the wrong Kevin. Not that Kevin.
It's watching Kevin the game, Patrice.
Right, he might be watching the game. It's Kevin Means, yes, and the B.A.M organization. Put that website for me in the chat. Click on there, you guys. Read everything. Support. Donate if you can. If you are in the Arizona area and would like to purchase tickets, the tickets are there right on the website as well. All right, sir. Right back to you.
Okay. Where were you? What was the question?
We were talking about the up and coming event. I'm excited. I want you to tell us.
Yeah. So on the 18th, next week, Saturday. So we have 3 opening acts. Let me just say the purpose of this event first off. The purpose of the event is not a fundraiser, although funds are appreciated. It's an investment that we're making to the community to get people involved, to grab a brick and take part in the mission statement.
Oh, okay. I like the sound of that.
We're public charity. So we're taking a step. It's an investment to take a step to the community to say this is what we want to happen. It's only going to happen if the community participates in one way or another. So that's what this show is really about. And to make it fun, we have 3 acts. We got opening act, Bugsy Red, Ed Reddit. He's a vet as well, Marine vet. I'm not mad at him. I was Army, but he does vocals. He's known on the karaoke scene, but he does have his own product released now. He'll be performing 2 songs that he has just recently released. He's got videos with him, and he's old school. Got a nice little flavor kick to him. I've helped him with some of his arrangements with some of his music. And then we have Sam Cockrell, who is Chicago Blues Hall of Famer. He's a
Cockrell
bassist. What sets Sam apart is that not a lot of blues singers play bass; they play guitar. So Sam plays the bass. I had the pleasure of being one of his bandmates for his band Brothers of the Ghetto. They go back 40 years. These guys came up together, and I was honored to be the keyboard player with them and learned a lot from Sam. Sam is also a board member.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, awesome. So he'll be coming.
I don't know him personally, but I know of him through the blues sector back in Chicago from way back in the day. That name definitely rings a bell. I used to go to what's the blues guy's place? He has a blues guy. Yep, Buddy Guy. That's him.
Yeah. That's who established the Chicago Blues Hall of Fame.
Yes,
Buddy Guy.
Yes, I used to go to his place. Had lots of friends that perform there and still actually perform at Buddy Guy's, Kingston Mines.
Yeah,
all those plays, all those
script there. Yeah,
exactly. So my background started. That's how I started really in blues with performing with my cousin Tyrone. So.
Tyrone Davis, ambassador.
Yes, Tyrone Davis. And, he was from the west side of Chicago. So those roots go all the way back that deep. And having toured with him for a little while and performed with him. So all those, that Cockrell name definitely rang a bell and was familiar. I probably have been in the rooms with him at some point. It had to be possibly.
Second generation. His dad was also into the blues as well. I don't know his name, but he was also into the blues and is known as well. So Sam's going to be opening for us, which is our group, is known as Urban Legends. Now, that brand name is from Calvin Fields, who used to play with a band called Secret Weapon. They come out with a tune back in the 80s, Must Be the Music, still a popular tune, still getting the airplay and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
But he started the brand Urban Legends some time ago. With a vision for it. And I've embraced it. He is also a board member now. And so it's funny. Calvin and I, when we met, was when I first got to Phoenix. So we would work out in my garage and we had a number of musicians coming in and out and that kind of thing, just having fun. It was always about music, breaking bread, relationship, right?
Absolutely.
And at some point we began to say, okay, so what are we going to do? And, what do we? So eventually we put a unit together. The unit that we have right now is a pretty solid unit. We've added a couple new guitarists to what we're doing. And this is almost a year later. And here we are, and just doing patience and having a clear plan. I think Calvin's the type of brother, he want to see the footwork. He's got a lot of experience. And I think once he saw the footwork and the commitment out of myself, and then I think he became encouraged, and that's when he decided to take a board seat just recently. So we're excited about the show coming up. We got Jared Bowens. He's a drummer, young brother, one of the best drummers I've ever played with. Outstanding drummer, And then, of course, Terrence Ward is out of Detroit. His claim to fame, I hate to use that phrase, but he participated in talent show with Kim and came second place.
Meaning Kim the singer,
Kim the singer in Detroit.
Oh, in Detroit, right. Yeah, because Kim's from Detroit. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And as he put it, his vocal style with Kim and Al Jarreau, they're very similar.
Very
I
similar.
know a lot
I
of
love Al Jarreau and I love Kim. So yeah.
right. I know a lot of us thought, is he trying to imitate Al Jarreau? I mean, the style that Al Jarreau had, is unique. And here's the other similarity that I saw. So we decided to pay tribute to these two artists, not just because of I'm sorry, Terrence, our lead vocalist, not because of his encounter with Kim, but also with Al Jarreau, the combination of those two. So you got the similarities in the vocal style, but
right.
Al Jarreau was a counselor.
Yeah.
Kim is going through the process.
Okay. Yeah.
So you got that other similarity too. So we're gonna have fun mixing their music up for 2 sets, and of course the seafood. So the story behind the seafood is we do an annual seafood feast every year. It's just a pleasure to have new friends out to enjoy the seafood, and we get to entertain them. I mean,
I
and
know.
introduce them to B.A.M. I mean, it's great. I have family coming in from Chicago. Sam's coming in from Chicago.
Awesome.
It's just great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really great, and I'm so sorry I can't be there, even though I'll be supporting you guys in spirit. I can't make this first one because I'll be in California doing the stage play. It's on the exact same day, so that's why I can't be there. But I'm supporting and rooting on in spirit.
You sent your proxy out.
What's that?
You sent the proxy team out. You sent 2 folks out.
I did. Hey, listen. I definitely sent some representation. So
right.
I will be in the building in spirit, but I did send some representation there in proxy by way of yours truly. So
it's great.
Yes,
absolutely. That's great commitment. We appreciate it, Patrice.
Oh, no problem. I was definitely glad to be able to still be able to support it, because that's what it's about. Sometimes you can't make a thing physically, but like I told you, support is support. If I can't be there, I can purchase a ticket. I can send somebody. I can tell somebody about it. I can post the website. I can, whatever it is that you can do. Support is support. It's not always about physically being there. Sometimes, right. If you can't be there, hey, send a few dollars. If you can be there or can't be there, tell somebody. So right. That's what it's about, and again, I'm excited, to be a part of B.A.M's organization and working with you guys. I'm honored again, that you asked me. I know, how we kind of reached out is because we know someone, mutually from Chicago. My sister Trisha. Listen, I've been on a couple of shows in Chicago with Trisha when I was a part of another production team and organization based out of Chicago. I was on a couple of shows with Patricia. So that's how I know her. And then when I saw you pop up on her feed and being from Chicago and that you were here, and I looked and I went to the website and I was like, okay, this looked like something I can, get on board with. Like, I would definitely be interested in. With me being here for 2 years and trying to network with people, that's what I do. That's what I love to do, and always stay involved with any community in which I am a resident of. I did it in Chicago. I did it in Vegas when I moved to Vegas, and now I'm doing it here as well in Arizona. And seeing your organization, I was like, okay, and I'm done with my kids. I call them my kids because I still go and visit them. But the kids that I was doing a reading program, but that program was over. and like we talked about earlier, I'm not sure if the state or the government is going to put the funding to bring that reading program back. But I know I wanted to continue to be involved in helping the youth and helping the community. So when I saw your thing and I was like, oh, this is a homeboy, let me reach out, and get, and introduce myself and say, hey, look, I'm interested in, and this is what we have to do, right? Saying, hey, I'm interested in, being a part of something and, and networking with you. And one thing led to another, and voila, here we are.
Right. I wonder a lot about when we talk about people being involved in nonprofits, and when we talk about the Black and brown communities and the challenges that are faced, those are the risk factors that are listed with this evidence-based research.
Yep.
There are things we're troubled by that we don't take the steps to counteract are the actual risk factors. So it's almost like, okay, so when we talk about, I'm former law enforcement as well, state of Georgia. All right. So when we
Okay.
talk, yeah, so when we talk, that was my first mistake, but
Oh, well, that's a whole nother program. We can talk about this whole police thing.
yeah, right. But this like the problems we face. We're talking about this whole concept of snitching, for example, right?
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, when we came up, yeah, folks told, and they told you they was gonna tell. Listen, that ain't snitching when somebody tell you they gonna tell, okay?
That's
And
right.
right, there's a whole different concept. So we become part of the problem as opposed to part of the solution just by standing by and thinking something's gonna change and we don't take action.
Exactly. And not to mention the things that we had. I remember growing up back in Chicago, we had things like the neighborhood watch. And I mean, we really watched out for each other.
Right.
When our neighbors went out of town, we knew when they were gone, how long they were going to be gone, when they were coming back. We would watch their houses or their apartments and things of that nature. And we saw anything unusual, we telling somebody. We
Right.
listen, and we don't have that anymore. Everybody kind of want to like mind their own business
It's
and
just
not get involved in things, and things are happening around us. And
right.
now we have things like cell phone cameras and all these police cameras that are catching a lot of nefarious things that is happening in our communities, right? So
Right.
if we continue to like keep our mouth closed and not get involved and say anything, then we become a part of the problem and not a part of the solution.
Right.
So programs like B.A.M and other things like this is being a part of the solution,
Right.
and not always
we
part
don't
of the problem.
You gotta put yourself at risk, of course. I mean, we talk about, I use the term snitching because that's the most popular excuse that people come up with,
Right.
not to be involved. But listen, everybody's snitching on everybody. I mean, listen, if a criminal get information from another criminal, that's snitching. I mean, it's the bottom line is, if you have a problem, you got to start dealing with it one way. Now, we're our program, and we use the phrase, our mission is against youth violence. There's a lot of factors that go into that. We're not against people.
Right.
We're not against lifestyle if it's conducive to community. If it's counterproductive to community, yeah, that's what we're against. But there's so many dynamics that we are caught up in that we don't see the full picture. So I don't blame anybody either. You know what I'm saying? It's like certain things need to be put in place, and all we're trying to do is lay out a foundation for everyone to share their gifts and talents and bring something to the table to say, okay, this is the problem. Let's get to the root cause of it. Let's work on some solutions.
Absolutely. And also, absolutely, Kevin, I totally agree. And also, as adults, we have to realize that we were kids once, and we grew up in a different time and era. Like you said, we were more open to having a conversation and talk. And now a lot of kids feel the pressure on them. And there is a communication gap between adults and children and kids and the youth. There's a communication gap that is lost, where kids don't feel like they have the trust to be able to come to an adult to tell if something is wrong, if somebody is bothering. You have things like, we didn't have social media coming up. Now you got all these social media platforms. You got so much cyberbullying. You got, a lot of other peer pressures that the youth go through, and they need someone that they can trust and rely on, that they feel like that they can talk to with no judgment, right? Like, because a lot of times, they're afraid because they think you're gonna judge towards them or whatever. But we have to bridge the gap, with programs like B.A.M, with better communication, with offering other solutions for these children so that they can feel more comfortable with us having a sort of like an open door policy to say, that I'm here, that you can talk to me with no judgment. Some kids feel like, and you feel like, they can't even talk to their own parents. And that's sad that communication gap is lost. So programs like B.A.M is definitely here to bridge that gap. And I'm just glad that I'm gonna be able to be a part of something like that, because I was talking to you earlier in the week when we were talking about, there was this thing in the school system called the school to prison pipeline. And it predominantly hurts our Black children, Black boys especially. It
That's correct.
started off early in the school, in elementary, go through middle school and through high school, and this is a record that they carry from elementary school through high school, where they, if they get in trouble, by the time they get out of high school, they literally judge you and sentence you by your history of any trouble you got in while you were in school, whether it was truancy, whether it was suspensions, fighting,
the pattern is established, the foundation is established
of that nature. Yes, and
what I've noticed nowadays, I won't say the Black male is extinct. We're here. We're not in the places where we need to be most visible, like the schools, for example. I mean, if we see there's an agenda of sorts. I don't want to create an argument here.
Yeah. That's a whole nother program too.
Yeah, if we're seeing, it's either sports, you know, it's not in a role where we're giving advice, guidance, or sharing our experience, strength, and hope. You know, so giving the youth an opportunity to be able to see Black men in a certain place where they're able to hear. That's important. So schools, it's important for it to take place in the schools so they don't see that. I was surprised when I went to Marshall High School to meet with the principal then. I was on my way to a Sox game. And I waited, and I had to wait longer because she was involved with the fight amongst students with 12 students. There was one Black man I saw in the whole building. He didn't even intervene because that wasn't his role, apparently. At least he thought so. But maybe he felt some kind of way if he did intervene. He didn't want to get caught up because maybe, you know what I'm saying? But the point is, I watched women handle those young boys, and I listened to them give feedback. And I'm like, oh, really? Now, I hadn't been in school for a long time, and I had to witness that. I just couldn't bite my tongue.
Yeah.
And I said so respectfully to these young men, but sternly, I said, that woman is talking. You don't know how to keep your mouth closed and listen for a minute? Something to that effect, right? But it was clear that they don't get enough of that.
Yep. They don't see
Some
enough.
of them have it at home.
They don't see enough of men like you, men that are so needed. And I want to welcome, I think there was 713. I think that was the name of the person that was in the chat. Please, thank you so much for coming and welcome. But even in the reading program, you know, it's more women. It's more women. I see more women, you know, in a lot of these programs where the Black male youth, especially in the inner city and urban neighborhoods, the poor neighborhoods or the low income neighborhoods, are so needed, because it takes a man sometimes to handle a young boy.
Right.
Like you said, they need to see that. They need that sternness. They just need that bass in the voice of another man, to where the young boys can feel that in a different way than when I'm talking to them as a woman, who they may not fear so much, or they may buck at quickly, or, you know, smart mouth back quickly. And you see that a lot. And it's so, you know, to say that Black men are so needed more in these mentorship roles.
Yeah,
you know,
we don't always know how to deal with our younger Black brothers. There's challenges, you know, there's a gap there. And I think that's another story to go into, but there is a gap in how we relate to one another. So it's not about fear. It's really about being transparent with them. But you're telling them the for real. You're not biting your words. You ain't sure. You ain't trying to be politically correct. You're sharing your experience, strength, and hope. That's what we got. Okay, that's what brought me this far from my elders.
There you go.
There's a gap if I don't pass it on, you know. And other Black men, we all know, you know. And there's a way.
I mean, because my son served, he was in the Air Force. His father served in the Army, and when his father was away. And if I had any issue with my son growing up as a teenager, it was a couple of times he tried me. But you know what I did? I got on the phone. I called my brothers. You have to have that male man to come in there and put with that bass. And You don't talk to her like that. And if you try that again, we're going to come over here. We're going to handle this business, right? So I think that so many of the young, boys, especially the ones that I see here in the inner city where I taught the reading here in Arizona and other places, because the fathers are not in the home, unfortunately, and they don't have that male role
They don't
model.
see it at home if they
We
don't
lack
see
that. Exactly. We
Right.
lack that so much. And the women either don't ask for it, or they just don't care, or they don't think nobody is going to step up. So I always encourage, like my son, he is a program director for a nonprofit organization. I've always instilled in him giving back, and he's in Illinois.
That's good.
He started out with a company that Bill Clinton started way back in '99 called City Year. He started out
Patrice?
City Year. City Year.
City Year.
Yeah, he started out with that nonprofit organization, worked for them for over 10 years. Once he got out, he went into the Air Force out of high school, did the Air Force, came back in and got into that mentorship program with City Year, worked for them for over 10 years. And now he works for another organization. Started out as a mentor, is now in an executive position with a nonprofit organization. So I've always instilled in my son a sense of community, a sense of giving back, a sense of activism. And he's my only child. And I'm so glad that he is being that Black male role model that I had to put in his life, with his father, with his uncles, with other men. And I always would instill in him and tell him, always be in the room with men that are greater than you are in that moment.
You read that way, you're able to help
that moment.
That's right.
So he would and keep elevating from there. And our Black young men and the youth and these young women, they need to see more of that, because it's enough of the negativity, what's going on in the music industry with some of the things that I don't care that I'm seeing, with the rap art. And you know how it is coming out of Chicago with that drill rap. We've lost so many young Black male youths in that game. So now to turn that around and for B.A.M to be a part of something that's going to be different when it comes to the music and the entertainment, they're going to see that it looks different from what that is.
That's right. One of our core values is positive music and music appreciation. The whole idea of music, Quincy Jones said it best: 7 notes, flattened and sharpened, created all the music in the world. Yes. 7 notes. And again, those same notes can change lives if they get it, if you're able to get into that and just get lost in the music itself. And when we talk about positive content, that's very important part of our key of core values. But as far as mentorship, I have a mentor. I have a few mentors. See, mentorship is very important.
You're never too old for a mentor.
You're never too old for a mentor. If you're going down a road you've never been, that's why I believe in establishing relationships. They're hard. It ain't nothing more valuable than relationships.
Absolutely.
You couldn't even spend $1 unless we agreed to spend it with each other. It's a relationship. There's nothing more valuable than relationships. So, all those are important factors, and we just want to lay that foundation out so that youth have an option, because once again, as you mentioned, Patrice, it's absent in the schools more than people even realize. And having an outlet, something else to do.
Yes.
Establishes a whole nother focus. And that in itself is another protective factor that we want to be able to help add to the game.
Absolutely. So before we close, I am going to ask my team to drop the link. And if anybody want to come up, if they have any questions that they want to ask Kevin Means about B.A.M program, the organization, or any other kind of question they may want to ask about the youth program and what we're doing here with the B.A.M organization, please do so, because I know you guys, I know it's Super Bowl. Y'all want to get to the game and watch the game and all that good stuff. But if anybody want to come up and ask a question, please drop the link. And also, if you don't want to come up and just have a question you may want to ask in the chat, just type question and then ask your question, and my team will bring it up and I will read it, and Kevin Means will answer it, and then we're gonna end after the questionnaire, and he's going to give all of his social media platform where he could be reached or anything of that nature, and then we'll end it and let you guys get to the Super Bowl. Like I said, I didn't want to hold you guys too long. Kevin, thank you so much. I really appreciate
Patrice.
you
Thank
taking
you.
time out to do this. I'm so honored, and I couldn't wait to do this interview with you, because I want people to see what in real time being a part of the community and being a part of the solution looks like. So being able to hop out of from one endeavor into this one with you guys is like, I'm so excited about that. You guys want to drop the stream y'all link, my team, please? So yeah, but brother, I want to, wish you guys all the best. I know that show on the 18th is going to be the bomb.
We gonna have
diggity, and I know you guys gonna have a good time. I'm gonna watch the footage later, because you said it's some radio people gonna be there. Talk a little bit about that.
Shout out to Key Vibes Radio. That's another brother from Chicago. Worked with PBS, or excuse me, NPR.
A lot of Chicagoans out here in Arizona.
Yeah. See, that's the hit that I hope we are at least get enough information out, because we know people moving from Chicago for a number of different reasons. All of them are good. And we hope that the best for everybody coming from Chicago to Phoenix. But there's a problem with crime in Phoenix. Don't be confused. We're right at the border. I mean, sex trafficking alone is on a ridiculous
level. Man, that's getting crazy all over. But yeah, you're right.
So I mean, there's a number of different things going on. But he's from Chicago. He worked with NPR Radio. Shout out to Michael from Key Vibes Radio. It's a streaming platform if you want to. And we'll be broadcasting our event live on that streaming platform.
Okay. Yeah, just make sure you send me the link to the streaming platform where I can definitely check it out as much as I can. But again, I may not make this one, but I will be at the next one.
You're involved. The
next up and coming one. I think we looking at April, right?
That's right. April, May. You'll be involved in that committee that's making some decisions about what we're gonna do. Okay, but we're gonna do this once 4 times a year. Every quarter, we'll do a showcase what's happening. Yeah.
Sounds good. I am so excited. Listen, brother. I'm so excited, because when it comes to anything with participating in being a part of the solution and not the problem, right? I'm all about that. So I'm excited about B.A.M. I'm excited about the organization. I've already met, most of the other members and things of that nature. So I'm excited to be working with all of you guys, and I am absolutely excited to be working with our youth. So let me see. Do we have any questions in the chat? The link is in the chat if you want to click it on and come up and ask Brother Kevin a question. I'm gonna look and see if it's any in the chat. Oh, Brother Vaughn said you used to love to go to the Kingston Mine. Yeah, that's one of the places where you can go to hear some good blues. Oh, okay. Got to type the questions or join in, but you can come up if you're new. You can come up if you're new. Okay, anybody, feel free. Click that StreamYard link. It is in the chat. If you want to come up and ask a question before I let Brother Kevin go. Yes, it does. It does take humility to seek a mentor. And I will say that, we got a question here. Okay. Does B.A.M have other links or affiliates?
Okay, well, we worked with the Black Mothers Forum right out of the gates after organizing last spring. By June, we were partnered with the Black Mothers Forum. They're out of Arizona. They're charter school or micro schools. They operate, they had a summer school program, and we worked with their program in the summer school and provided music education, mostly music appreciation. It was a younger age group, and we worked with them for about a month and partnered with them. We look forward to doing something more with them in the future as well, as our goal is to nest in various different schools. We probably will stay with the summer piece first till we build some momentum. And
Okay.
but that's the one organization in Arizona we've partnered with. We've partnered with the YWCA in Chicago with B.A.M House. We have linkage. You're required to have at least 12 linkage agreements in the state of Illinois to operate under a state license. So
Okay.
it's comprehensive. You have to partner with other organizations, and we're
Right.
looking. We're waiting to partner with more.
Okay. What's the organization here? The Mothers what?
The Black Mothers Forum.
Black
Yeah.
Mothers
The
Forum.
Black
Okay.
Mothers Forum, part of their mission is to end the school to prison pipeline. So our missions lined right up with each other.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm gonna have to check them out. Make sure you text me and send me the
Absolutely.
information on that. For
Absolutely.
sure. And I have another question. Anything in Seattle?
Anything in Seattle.
Thank you, 713,
Nope.
for your questions.
Nope. Not in Seattle. I mean, we're grassroots, so we focus in one area, but who knows? The right people may be able to network chapters in different places.
Never
That's
know. Or
this is network.
or you can start your own. You can start your own up there in
You can do your
whatever
part.
state that you live in. Listen, we do have the government that are giving funding to people that want to start their own nonprofit organizations
Right.
up to do something, whether it's for kids, youth, teenagers, adults, like whatever. It's so much opportunity out here now. So yeah, absolutely. You never know what can happen, but if not, be the first yourself to start some type of community nonprofit organization in your state.
Absolutely. Excellent advice.
And I have another question here from Let's Talk the Better Black Life. That's my brother, bro, Clarence. He says, how do you get grants with a nonprofit?
Well, a lot of grants, there's a number of different grants that are private grants and there's public grants. My experience, I look towards public grants from state agencies, local government, and federal government. Those are more streamlined, and the process for applying for them, it's. I just think like that myself. So I do grant writing as well. So you look for RFPs, requests for proposals, and in those requests for proposals, there's a list of different things they're looking for, goals they're looking to accomplish. So you got to be goal oriented to apply for grant funding. You need to have a primary, a secondary goal, maybe even a third goal. So being goal, and then you have to have some type of evidence-based research that's incorporated into what you're doing. Hey, I mean,
Data, statistics,
you gotta have
geographics, and
right. Now that comes from sometimes it's going to come out of the universities because they've been studying things. So if you get with some universities and look at some stuff that scholars have written, you'll see what research has been out there. It's how we identify these risk factors and protective factors and what we're using with B.A.M music. So those are some of the things. And yeah, those are some of the sources. You got private grants and federal grants.
okay, awesome. We have kingmakers here. Seems like it's along the same vine. Just wondering what joining forces could look like. Oh, yeah, you never know. Because, like he said, B.A.M is looking to join forces with other organizations.
Right.
So, right now, whether that be locally right now, because we're grassroots starting out, and then, you never know, moving out to other cities and states, in the near future. Absolutely. Thank you for your question. Let's see if we got any more here.
Some good questions.
Yeah, they really asking good questions. Oh, my brother, Let's Talk About Black Life. He said, I remember that song, Must Be the Music. Secret Weapon, one of my jams from the 80s. I remember that song too.
Yeah, Deion Sanders did a remake of it. He said, "Must be the money."
Yes, must be the money.
I think Saturday Night Live and did that little bit. Yeah.
Right. I remember that song. Yeah, it actually was a pretty big hit back in the day. Absolutely. All right. So I don't think we have any more. questions in? Okay, let's see. With the slow ending soon, I hope everyone ends the night on a high. Thanks, OG Patrice and Kevin, and thank you, Risa Vaughn. Any, let's talk the better. Bridget M3, sorry if I missed someone. No, it's Party Lime. You are awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Brother, in closing, again, I want to say thank you. I know just in the 2 years I've been in these YouTube streets, I met some very wonderful people. And my brother, his name is Clarence, and he is with the Let's Talk the Better Black Life. I'm always, I'm like his channel, his YouTube channel is like my home, and we always talk about things that's happening, in the world, but predominantly in our community and what affects us, as a whole. And it's people that I've gotten close with in these YouTube streets that I haven't physically met yet face to face. Like I haven't physically met you yet face to face.
No, we haven't.
And to say that when you can network and connect with people, I'm going to tell you something phenomenal that we did here. Just us in these YouTube streets on his channel. Let's Talk the Better Black Life. Him and my brother Vaughn and sister Annie and Risa Neal and all these people that's in the chat, we all come from his channel, and we all met a couple of years ago in these YouTube streets. Have not physically met each other, but my brothers came up with an idea of wanting to give back to the community. And what we did was we just completed and started giving back to the community by hosting a backpack fundraiser.
Okay.
For school children in California, out there where brother Clarence is.
Okay.
And none of us, like I said, we only met 2 years ago in these YouTube streets from going on each other's channel and going on the panels and talking and having conversations. And starting with that, we had a goal, that we wanted to give out so many backpacks, and we also wanted to give away a laptop to one of we have to wrestle that off now. Hi, the Love Experience. Thank you so much. I appreciate you tuning in, beautiful. And we said, could we do this? We finna ask money for people we don't know, and things like that. We only know each other, and and we really don't. We know each other, but we have not physically met, right? And we started doing that. And I probably say within 30 to 45 days, we reached our goal and actually exceeded our goal of $3,100, where we collected, and brother Clarence, yes, we were able to raise $3,100, and we gave away 48 backpacks to children in the community there in California. And we have to also raffle off the laptop that one of the students is going to win. Now these are
48 new relationships.
Yes, and these are people that came together, that had an idea, that wanted to give back to the community. We never physically met each other in person, but we have a camaraderie and a friendship and a network and a love and a respect for each other that is real. And it is just from these YouTube streets. So imagine what programs like B.A.M and things can do, 10 toes down, boots on the ground in the community for real working. School supplies, calculators, laptop, all that. Yeah, we did it, bro, Clarence. So when I know if we put our mind to something as a people, we can do anything.
That's very encouraging, because it's a challenge when you're running a nonprofit and you're trying to accomplish a mission, and you find yourself working by yourself a lot, and y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And so, but this medium does make the world a smaller place, and it opens up to more relationships and more efforts. Yeah, That's great. The
Absolutely.
backpack is a great idea. That happens at Chicago. I've seen it done in
Yeah.
Chicago successfully, and that's great to introduce that to other places where it doesn't exist, where it should.
Absolutely. And so to say that I know that it can be done if we put our minds and our hearts to it, um, it just takes the will. It just takes the for us to be a motivation and encouragement to each other. So with having programs and organizations like B.A.M to be grassroots, 10 toes down on the ground. Hi, Marcus. Thank you so much for coming. Welcome. You know, it just lets me know that I know it can be done. That it is nothing that we can't do as a people and as a community if we really put our hearts and our minds to it. So with what we did with that was just more motivation and more encouragement for me to continue to be a part of what I'm doing with B.A.M and just saying I'm just ready. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to roll, and I'm ready to help. I'm here, brother, whenever you need me, in any endeavor I can help with. If I have willing and able body to do it, I want to do it because I have dedicated my whole life, basically raised my son that same way to giving back. So I just want to say thank you again for allowing me to be a part of B.A.M's organization. And I can't wait to get started with working with you guys. And if you have anything else you'd like to say in closing,
I just want to thank you for the opportunity for this forum here. It's a great format what you're doing here, and you do it well. And you have a team. See, that's what it's about. You got
team players, yes. Shout out to Knowledge and Relationships and my mods and my team. Listen, you right.
right.
Teamwork makes the dream
That's
work,
right.
right?
That's right. So I'm just grateful to be able to participate and that you guys thought about me and thought enough about the mission that is worthy enough to spread the word about. We're
Yes,
grateful.
absolutely. And okay, brother, you said to get his information. Okay, brother, I got his information and I will pass it along to you, bro Clarence, if you want. Because I know you always work. I know. We always working in the community. We made a community in these YouTube streets. I'm out in these Arizona streets for real, doing more work, and I'm proud and honored to be that. Kevin, thank you again, brother, so much. And I ask you guys, please drop the website in there again. Please check out bamhousemusic.org, their website, and the BAM organization, the nonprofit organization, and all the exciting things that we about to do here in the state of Arizona for the community and for our youth. Do you have any last words? And also, before you leave, give us any social media platforms
Oh
that
yeah,
want
we're
people
on
to follow
Facebook.
you.
Bam Music and the Fine Arts page is our business page on Facebook. And that's pretty much the only place we are right now. But then the show, once again, February 18th. If you want to get tickets, go to the website and get your tickets, or you can go to Eventbrite and look for BAM Music and Fine Arts, Kim, a tribute to Kim and Al Jarreau. And you'll be able to get your tickets. There's seafood feast or a grilled chicken option if you choose. Just fun
Save
and
me, save me a doggy bag.
we got you. We'll do it again. We'll
Oh
do it
yeah.
again when we get
Oh
the
yeah.
next board meeting. We'll do the seafood feast again.
Absolutely.
Add
Thank you,
some
brother.
other extras to it too.
Thank you. I really, really appreciate you so much. Thank you. You guys go check out bamhousemusic.org. Check out the BAM organization. We're doing big things here in Arizona for our youth and for the community. Brother Kevin Means, it's been my pleasure.
Thanks again, Patrice. We'll
And
talk
salute
soon.
again.
Love it.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Bye
Right
bye.
back at you. You guys can drop him down. I think he's having a problem trying to, yeah. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. Again, I want to thank my special guest, executive director and program coordinator of BAM Music and Fine Arts Organization, nonprofit organization here in the state of Arizona, where I reside. I know it's Super Bowl Sunday, and I know you guys want to get to the game. I know y'all excited about getting to the game. Thank you guys so much for joining me and rocking with me on this beautiful Super Bowl Sunday. So I'm glad I'm back. I want to thank my team. Thank you. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to my mods. Shout out to my IT team in the back holding me down. Brother M3, Brother Mr. 84, Queen. I love y'all. Thank y'all so very much. It's so good to be back. I'm excited and I can't wait for my next show because it's going to be bigger and better. It gets bigger and better, guys, for 2023. In the place to be. This is your girl, OG Patrice. Thank you for joining me on Straight Up No Chaser Talk with yours truly. And I'm out. Peace. Peace.